All right, here we are. Last day of the week again. It goes fast, doesn't it? All right, today we are doing the front of 6-10, and then we have a fluency check that we're also doing. So these are very similar to the ones that we've been doing all this week, okay? So we just want to break them down, and we don't want to get overwhelmed by the words. We just take our time and write down our clues to help us, okay? All right, we'll do a couple together. Number one says, there is a stack of sweaters at the store. 6 sweaters. Be careful that you don't miss those ones that are words, okay? 6 sweaters have 5 buttons each. 1 sweater has 4 buttons. How many buttons do the sweaters have all together? Whenever I see all together, I know I'm going to plus, right? So let's break it down. We know that 6 sweaters have 5 buttons. So 6, and then I'm going to do times 5 just to figure out the buttons, right? I know that I'm going to add later because we just talked about all together, but I have 6 sweaters that have 5 buttons. So I can use my multiplication to figure out how many buttons that is. 6 times 5. Okay, and then I have 1 sweater that has 4 buttons. That's easy, right? All right, so I want to figure out those 2, and then my last question says, how many buttons do the sweaters have all together? So I'm going to take these 2 answers and add them up to get my answer. And then I will move it over to the line. I want you to do those on your own because you guys are good at those. Okay, don't forget to add up your 2 numbers over there. Okay, and actually once they're written there, you could actually just put a plus sign right here and just add them up. Okay, because they're already going to be lined up. All right, let's look at number 2. Paula had 60 party treats. Underline. She gave 4 away. Then she put an equal number into 8 bags. How many treats did she put in each bag? Okay, so we're going to be doing, you notice when she's dividing them into bags, we're eventually going to be doing division there, aren't we? But we're going to start at the very beginning. Okay, she had 60 treats. She gave 4 away. I'm going to stop right there. She started with 60 and she took 4 away. That's your first step. Okay, so you'll get that answer. Then she takes the number that she gets right here and she divides them into 8 bags. So whatever number you got, you're going to put that right here and you're going to divide it by 8. Okay, so whatever answer you got in the red circle, you are going to move down to right here. And then you're going to do your division problem because she's dividing, so we know it's going to come out equal. She's going to divide into the treat bags, okay? And so then you're going to figure out how many treats she put in each bag. Remember, my word after many is always my label, okay? So treats. Okay, you can do it. All right, number 3. Andy's soccer team scored 5 goals in each of the 7 games. 5 goals in every of the 7 games, okay? And 6 goals in another game. How many goals did his team score? Okay, let's start at the beginning. Andy's soccer team scored 5 goals in 7 games. So I'm going to have to go 5 times 7 to figure out. He's got a lot of goals, doesn't he? Okay, so I'm going to figure that out first. Okay, and then when I look at my next sentence, he also scored 6 goals in 1 game. So 1 game times 6. Okay, figuring that out. And this is very similar to number 1. So once you figure those out, then they want to know how many goals did Andy's team score. Okay, so you're going to figure those 2 out and add them up. Put your plus sign right here. and add them up. Okay, so it's just taking one sentence at a time, guys, and figuring out what that means. Okay, and you'll get better at it. Let's look at number 4. 1 week, John walked 20 minutes each day for 6 days. Okay, so 20 minutes each day for 6 days. Okay, think about that. Then he walked 30 minutes the next day. How many minutes did John walk that week? Okay, I go back to the beginning of the problem. 1 week, John walked 20 minutes each for 6 days. So I'm going to go 20 times 6. And the reason I'm doing it the up and down way is because that's the way that you guys know how to do it, right? Because then I go up and over. I go 6 times 0, 0, and then I go 6 times 2, and then I'm going to get my answer, which 6 times 2 is 12. Am I done yet? Nope, I have to go back and finish. So it says, I know he's got 120 for that, 120 minutes for that first part, but then look, then he walked 30 minutes the next day. So I'm going to need to take my 120, add 30 to figure out how many minutes he walked that week. Okay. All right, Mrs. Hagen is going to leave you. You can do it, leaving you with 2 to do on your own. And then if you want to pause the video until you get those 2 done. And then I'm not going to give, and then we're going to do the fluency page. So I'm going to show that right now, just so you know that you're on the correct page. But you should be on page 426 in your workbook, and I will show that right now. And here is our fluency check. Make sure you're on page 426. And I think I mentioned on the last one that you should be almost getting these all correct. So take your time, remembering to add and subtract when you need to, and multiply and divide on the top. Okay? You got it. Thanks, guys.